Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the last episode of 2023 of Community Connection.
The last live episode.
The last
right,
live
Liam?
episode, yes.
Because we're going to
yes.
do it. We're going to do it next week, but we're not going to be here.
That's right. So, but it's been a great year, and we've had some really special guests. We've had some great times, but I don't think there's anybody more special than the guests we have today. And there's just electricity in the air because of our guest. You know, Claudia, good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Robert J. Day, how are you?
We were bragging last
You're not
week.
telling me that I'm looking lovely, and I wore this lovely Christmas thing to our interview, and the one
Now
time
I
I'm
have
trying
say
to be
it.
lovely.
No, if I have to say it, it's not special. But I'll think about it. Maybe I'll end with that.
Okay.
And we were bragging last week
Yes, we were.
about how a lot of volunteers were out delivering presents for Angel Tree and how special that was. I got to deliver 2 of those gifts down in South Boston and felt good to give gifts to kids, right? But I don't think anybody has given away as many gifts as our guest today. So, from way up north, like from further north than Northern Virginia even, won't you introduce our guest?
I get to introduce.
You get to introduce our guest.
So today we have with us Santa and Dr. Jingle Jen,
Yes.
the elf. So welcome to our
Yes.
world.
Thank
We are
you.
very
Ho, ho,
honored.
ho.
We're so honored.
Got to be very busy
Ho, ho.
this time of year to
Very.
kind of sneak us in, squeeze us in this.
Absolutely. Yes, very busy time of the year, but I've been hearing about what's going on here with Vision 30, and I thought it was worth taking a little time out from the shop to be here to
Wow.
share with you folks.
And tell us a little bit about your guests here with us. You've got a lot of helpers. This must be a special helper.
This is a very special elf,
Thank you,
one of
thank
our
you.
lead elves. This is
My pleasure.
Dr. Jingle Jen.
Hello.
Well, we'll get into what the doctor's about here in a little
Okay,
bit.
all right.
But you want to ask him a very important question. You ask all of our guests.
Yes, I do. So every time we have a guest on, we ask the question, why does Vision 30 resonate with you? What is your why? But first we ask, tell us a little bit about yourself. So we want to hear a little bit about you. I think most people have
Probably know
probably
something.
heard of you, but if you could tell us a little bit about you and what your why is for Vision 30, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, I go way back, way back. Been in this business for a long time, but it's a lot of fun. Taking gifts to the children and spending the time with the children before Christmas, and then that special night. My why, as I said a moment ago, I'm just amazed at what's going on in this community as different organizations. Patrick Henry Family Services among them, joining together to collaborate, to work together, to just make more of a community effort to keep children safe, and then those who are at risk or having difficulty, helping them get into a family that's supported by the community. So, children, family, that's what I'm all about, and it's sad when I see children who don't have that loving family, that support around them.
Have you ever had a kid mention anything like that to you when they're sitting on your lap, that they would like to have something other than a material item?
Or maybe in one of the letters they write to you.
Yeah, there's times that they will mention those kinds of things. Often they'll ask for a puppy, and I have to be very careful about promising a puppy. But you can tell but usually the children that are coming have the opportunity to come to me, have some support in their life, some guardian in their life, some organization in their life that's helping them. Wouldn't you say that's right, Dr.
Yeah,
Bell?
absolutely. I think that there's so many children who do have supportive families and that are able to bring them to see us, and we're able to share with them. But there are certainly moments where you see where they want more than just a present. There's so much more that they are wanting.
And those things are a little harder to give sometimes, isn't it? Yeah.
What is neat to see, often it'll be a foster family or a family that's maybe a kinship family, and the child isn't related, but you can see the love that's there as they are sharing that moment together.
How did you get into this business? You've been in this business for a long time. You've obviously cared about kids for a long time. How did this all start?
Well, it's quite a long history. You could look it up on Wikipedia
Oh, okay.
and hear the story. Goes way, way back. A guy named St. Nicholas kind of got the idea started
I see.
of on Christmas Eve taking gifts and giving to people.
Oh, because those kids were needy, if I remember
were.
correct,
That's
right?
right.
And so he was meeting a special need for some special kids.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Did you remember Santa coming to your house as a kid?
Santa did. Well, my parents were pretty straight shooters, so I'm not really sure that we ever really believed that there was a Santa. I think we heard stories of Santa, and I apologize because
Yeah.
now that you're here, I'm thinking, my goodness, my parents lied to me because here I am in the presence of Santa.
Well, I believe in you.
Oh, now that just warms my heart.
Yeah.
I was wondering, can we tell you what we want for Christmas?
Sure.
Well, since you're all powerful, I want Vision 30 to come to reality. So that's what I'm going to ask for every year.
Okay.
Whenever I metaphorically sit on your lap, I'm going to ask for Vision 30. What about you, Mr. Day? What do you want for Christmas? Tell Santa.
Yeah. I was one of those kids who didn't get to visit Santa often or didn't get to ask questions of Santa, but I do remember, in fact, I was in foster care when I did get to have a special Christmas and a special visit from Santa. So I appreciate you making that possible.
Sure.
And I appreciate the heart that you have for those foster kids and adoptive kids out there and kids who are in families that maybe not supportive, and I know that you care about them very much.
I have a question that I didn't prep you for, but I know you have a great memory as Santa. It was 2001 at the Fletcher House, and we had 8 kids at the time. I don't know if you remember this or not, but the youngest one at the time was named Dominic, and he believed in you, but nobody else did. And so he got made fun of the whole season. Do you remember that he was the only one who got gifts from you that year?
I seem to remember that.
And so he had twice as many gifts as everybody else in the family, and it was because you showed up only for the one that believed in you, and it was a powerful Christmas at the Fletchers. Lessons
hear that.
learned.
So, Sandra, we're going to take a little break, and we're going to watch a commercial about our counseling program called Hope for Tomorrow. And then we're going to come back and talk about how you kind of teamed up with some helpers from Hope for Tomorrow to do something very special for some pretty cool kids.
Excellent.
Would we do that?
Yes, certainly.
So let's watch that commercial, Liam.
When I think about Hope for Tomorrow counseling, I think about a place where people can come from any walk of life, any part of the community.
It's a counseling center that provides hope for families, for individuals, for children.
We are focused on clinical mental health, and we are planning on serving children and families so that children stay safe and families are strong.
We just meet people with a variety of needs. We strive to, make them know that we have a safe place for them to come to talk about whatever they need to talk about, have their needs met, and if we can't do everything for them, then we make sure that we're connecting them to the places and people that they need.
For someone who might come in and see me, and I guess a majority of our counselors, it's going to be for that new person an opportunity to really learn about what that counseling process is like what can you expect? What is my role as the counselor and what is your role as the client?
You're starting a journey that's very new, and so we want to be very welcoming, very understanding, and meet people where they're at.
I want people to walk in the door and to feel like this is a safe place. This is a place where I'm gonna be heard.
It's a dialogue, it's a conversation, kind of what things are they looking for in counseling too.
There's nothing to be afraid of, but you're not going to see anybody until you see your counselor come out to greet you for the first time.
You come to Hope for Tomorrow counseling, but there are so many things that we have direct connections to, so that if we aren't able to maybe meet the need directly with Hope for Tomorrow counseling, we have like our care team, or we have like our camps team that we can really partner with. And I would make the case that we definitely want to be about those community partnerships. I mean, that directly ties into what we're doing as an organization.
We are respecting clients where they're at, whatever spiritual or religious beliefs that they have, and we're getting to know them and what's going to work best for them. Yes, we do have this foundation that we work from, but that is not going to influence or be pushed onto the client, because that's completely against code of ethics that we use. And so we're still working ethically, so that if a client wants to incorporate Christianity, we are here to do that. If they don't, then we absolutely respect that.
We're trauma informed, meaning that we're constantly retraining and getting more expertise in how to help with the trauma that people face.
In some ways, it's a mutual relationship. And just like any mutual relationship, there are different things that each individual are going to bring to that relationship. And so the counselor has a responsibility of walking the individual through the process of healing, of hope, of maybe drawing connections to some things they haven't seen before.
Counselors are very active in collaborating with their clients on what their goals are. So from the very beginning, we're talking about why are you here, what brings you here, and what are your goals? What do you want to gain from this experience, and how can I help you do that?
We help them with, getting comfortable with just settling down, just have conversation. We have comfortable offices that have nice couches and people can relax.
I'm all in on the vision. When I first interviewed and came here, that's where I wanted to be. My wife and I have the opportunity to adopt our daughter at birth. We got a foster son. And so the things that Patrick Henry and Hope for Tomorrow Counseling are about, coming alongside those families to provide the hope, healing, and restoration, that's where I want to be and what I want to be doing.
We carry out that mission in the way that we serve every child, every adult, every parent, every family, every marriage. That amazing quality is one of the biggest things that drew me as a counselor to Hope for Tomorrow.
We've created a space for not only us to be vulnerable with one another, but to really meet clients where they are. We offer opportunities for clients and individuals to really get help where so many other places create so many barriers to that.
When it comes down to the end of the day, are we making a decision that's going to promote the wellness of our clients, or is it going to harm? Because we never want to harm. We absolutely want to promote wellness in every action that we do. And so that kind of myriads all of our programs together, is that compassion is the key to a successful journey in counseling.
Well, that's Hope for Tomorrow Counseling, staffed with some just amazing, caring people. Dr. Jingle Jen, it looks like you have a twin sister that works for Hope for Tomorrow.
It sure does. Not sure who that is, but we do look very similar.
So you're helping Santa on a special project here called Sensory Santa.
Yes.
Because, as we mentioned, sometimes it's difficult for children with certain sensory issues to have a good experience with Santa. The noise and the music and all the lights and the glitter and the presents makes that difficult, right?
Absolutely.
So tell us about this project of Sensory Santa, how that got started, and then I think we have some pictures that we can show of how that works.
Yes. And I have been working on Sensory Santa for the last 3 years. I've been obviously working with Santa for a very long time now. And so I've had the privilege of working with you guys on Sensory Santa and the elves that help us to make everything happen. And kind of tying back to what you said for your wish for Santa, of Vision 30 happening, right? And so that's one thing. As Santa's elf, there are presents that we cannot make ourselves as much as we try, but with the help of the community, the help of people around us, we can help provide that gift of a safe family. And so one of the experiences we're able to do that is Sensory Santa. And so we have done it, I believe, 5 years now. And it's an opportunity where children who may be on the spectrum or may be have experienced trauma. They've come from a hard place. And the normal setting of being able to meet Santa, because Santa is all over the place
Yes.
around this time of year, meeting so many children, are not able to experience that same experience. A lot of
Yeah.
the times that might be a mall setting, and there's lots
With
of
long
people,
lines, right? And
long
lots of
lines,
people and-
lots of
yeah.
people, lots of music, lots of very bright lights, and so it can be very overwhelming for these children. And so what we've done is create a time out of Santa's very busy schedule to be able to have him meet these children in a space that is warm and welcoming and calming, and they can have a very private time. They don't have to wait in a line. They sign up for a specific time that they can
So
come in.
have an appointment.
So they
with
have
Santa.
an appointment. So they come right in. They're able to do a Christmas craft with our elves, with our team, and be able to just get to know them and see kind of what their year has been like. And then they specifically have time to meet Santa and tell them what they want for Christmas, and even get a special present from Santa. And so that's been just a joy to be able to be a part of for the last few years.
So my understanding is that if the child doesn't want to sit on Santa's lap, there's no
Yep.
pressure to do that, right?
Yep, they don't have to. We have a bench that's wide enough for everybody to sit on, where they don't have to sit on his lap if they don't want to. And our Santa here is very trauma informed and is very welcoming
Santa.
and not pushing at all of what a child should or shouldn't do, or even just the experience of seeing him for the first time, because it's pretty exciting to see Santa for the first time. And so sometimes they're a little bit more cautious coming into the room. And so Santa's always very trauma informed and calm and welcoming the child in their timing, which is just so beautiful to see.
Yeah, one of the things that I do is give them extra time. Some of the kids come in and you could tell they're hesitant to make eye contact. I remember one little boy that really wanted to be close but was feeling nervous about it, so he turned around backwards and
that
backed
right?
up
Backed it.
against it,
Is
so
that
he
right?
could touch me, but he didn't have to make eye contact. So
That's beautiful. One of my favorite Christmas movies is The Christmas Story, and you remember the scene where Ralphie's right in the store, and it's from this perspective of a child, and it was really scary. And you're trying to remove all of those barriers, right? So it's not scary.
I have a grandson that told me the other day that he has proof that he's on the good list.
Yeah.
And I think he came and saw you, Santa. Did you guys have anything to do with proving that he's on the good list?
yes, we gave out a certificate, Santa certified, if they were
Yay.
on the good list. Now, I realize that may have affected some parents who use that as a threat, because now they have proof that
That
they're
they
on
are.
the good
Yeah.
list. Yeah, so
So where did this idea come from? This to carve out a special place for these children.
well, actually, my friend Jim Heron, who was the director
yeah,
of Hope
yeah.
for Tomorrow,
Yeah.
had participated, was asked to help with something similar to this in Roanoke several years ago
yeah.
at a school, and just saw how meaningful it was, and thought you could really do something with that. So we were very intentional, very specific about it. They were too, but they had lots of things going on, and so we just focus on this. And it may seem like a small thing, but one of the things that Hope for Tomorrow does when they invite me in for sensory friendly Santa is provide pictures, because sometimes in a family, if there's one or two children who have these difficulties, the rest of the family, they don't get to go to Santa and get the Santa picture. So they've had parents say that this is the first time we've had a family picture with Santa. So it's very special.
Yeah, and giving them enough time to be able to get the picture, because when you're in other settings, it's very quick and
Yes.
you're limited to how many pictures you can get. And sometimes with any children, it's hard to get everybody looking in the same direction and get that experience. And so we do have a photographer every year who comes and takes pictures, and it's at no cost to the family. And so we don't want it to be a burden for them to have this experience, because they've got enough on their plate. I mean, all of us have enough on our plate. And so let's take that barrier out so that we can be able to give them that experience.
Dr. Jingle, would you tell them
Yeah.
about the one family this very
Yes.
special situation this year.
Yeah, so in our sensory friendly Santa experience this year, I as an elf does, as trying to organize everything and make sure everybody's there who's signed up, and trying to remind people of their appointments, or if they're running late, how can I help them to get there, or directions or things like that. So we had a family that had signed up, and originally they had 3 children on their list, and they hadn't shown up on time, so I gave them a call. I was like, hey, like, you signed up for meeting Santa today. Do you need directions? Is there anything going on? And she was saying, I completely forgot, and my daughter has to have a ride to work, and then I have 4 grandchildren in the back of the car, all under 4, I
Oh,
think.
my.
And so, I believe it was a grandmother who had 4 grandchildren under 4, all in the van, and half of them were asleep. And she was like, I just don't think we're able to make it. I was like, well, do you want to swing by? Because we have presents for you. We would love to still give you presents even if you can't come in. And she was like, that would be wonderful. And so she drives up, and I tell all the elves and Santa, hey, we're going outside. And so our entire team of elves and Santa came
have a
outside.
picture?
We do.
What
Yep.
number is
So
that? Number
3.
It was number 3.
So that's our team.
wow.
Yep. So that's all of our elves who came and helped us that day.
And all the kiddos there.
Yep. And so they were all able to help us with the kiddos and the crafts and things like that. And the picture number 3 with the car. Yep.
There it is.
So there's the minivan full of children. I think 1 or 2 were asleep. But Santa was able to
So actually
come out
took
and
it
greet
outside
them.
and-
Yeah, and in a normal
Oh,
setting,
accommodating,
because
sure.
of there's so much going on, there's not the ability to accommodate. So thankfully, we have this time and this space to be able to make the accommodations to make it happen. And you could see in that parent's eyes, like she was so grateful and so understanding of, like, we didn't have to do that, but we wanted to do that, and it was such a joy to be able to do that for her, and for her children to be able to still have that experience, even
did
though
they
they were
wait-
still in their car seats.
So they woke up and saw Santa.
And so most of
peering
them
into
did.
the
I think
van.
one
Yes,
was
they're
very
right.
tired.
They were really big.
Yes.
Huh?
So I'm
I
sure
bet
that
it
was very confusing for them to wake up and all of a sudden Santa is at your door, but they were so excited about it.
Thank you, Doctor. You got some other pictures. You have some other stories you can
Yep.
share with
So
us real quick?
number 2, you can see the certificates of niceness from
being good.
Santa. And number 1, we've got one of our helpers as well. And so just really cool experiences to be able to take that individual time to meet with these families and give them that experience.
That little girl asked for a puppy.
Yeah,
is that- yes.
nice.
So we're looking for a puppy.
Oh, looking for a puppy. So how do families find out about this and sign up for that? I know, right? It's a year away again, but next year,
Yep.
hopefully we can do this again with Santa.
Yeah.
And I hope for tomorrow can do this with you, Santa.
In the beginning years, we definitely had a lot of marketing. We have,
Yeah.
a wonderful marketing team at the North Pole to be able to help us to get the news out. But we've done it for so many years that people remember. We've had a family who has come, I believe, the last 3 years and look forward to it every time. And so they know to look out for it on our socials or between, the social connections that they have. But also at Patrick Henry Family Services, we've been doing this for so long that they ask about it before we even have everything ready to go. So at this point, it's become such a big thing that people know about it, but it's not too big to where it's overwhelming. And I think that's the true heart of what we want to continue to do, is continue to make it so that it is very sensory friendly, without all the big hoopla of the season. So continuing to make it a quality experience for them.
If I may, Dr. Jingle brought something. We asked our research department to check on this.
Santa has a research
We had to
department.
check it twice.
And they checked it twice. And believe it or not, if I can get this.
Uh-oh.
Mr. Day, you are certified on the official NICE list.
Oh, wow.
It took them a while for you, Claudia, but they
Yes.
discovered that it
Maybe we checked 3 or 4 times.
Okay, well,
But we confirmed it though.
Okay,
You
well,
are on
that's
the
good to
nice
know.
list.
I'm going to use this when I need it.
Pull it out. Well, Santa, what's your wish? Does anybody ever ask you what you want for Christmas?
Well, I don't know that that's ever been asked.
Well, I'm going to ask.
Okay,
Santa,
all
what
right.
would you like for Christmas?
Well, in the spirit of what we've been talking about today, just more and more communities realizing the responsibility of keeping kids safe. When children are at risk, when situations are to the point that they have to be removed from their home, placed in foster care. I'm thankful for those foster families that will do that, but I think that's kind of an indication that the community and the church even are not doing enough work to help families stay strong, to get the help they need early before those problems get. So my wish is that more and more communities will blend their hearts together for the purpose, just like your Vision 30 here, that by the year 2030, all the children. Now, if you think every child is a theme of mine. It's an important theme. Every child. And so Vision 30 captures that. Every child in that loving, thriving family, supported by a community and with an engaged church, that just would be wonderful.
That's pretty impressive. I think he knew that better than some of our employees. Santa knows our
he knows
vision.
a lot
I
of
know the
stuff.
Vision 30.
He
A lot
keeps
of
track,
things.
right? Although I'm a little suspicious about that certificate you've got, but
Nobody asked you. Did anybody ask
no.
you?
But
Nobody
you know what?
asked
I'm going to hang mine up with my other degrees and stuff because this is pretty cool. So how are we going to get there, Claudia? How can we make Santa's wish come true?
Everybody finds their place. Everybody figures out what it is God's calling them to do, and everybody says yes. That's how we get there.
Yeah.
Did Santa have something he was going to say to the camera? We always
Yes.
allow
If
people
we're
to
allowed
say,
to do that.
yeah, are we
Yeah.
ready for that?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
it is.
Yeah, I want to just speak to everybody and just to say that myself and my elves and the reindeer, we all work very hard every year, all year long. And as you know, it's extremely busy right now. But we work to bring some fun to the Christmas season, to just enjoy it. But I want to remind you that I'm not the one that makes it important. I try to make it fun, but it's Jesus that makes it important. The greatest gift ever, the gift of God giving His Son, that the world could be reconciled, and that means right down to the individual being reconciled and families being reconciled. That's Christmas, and let's remember that and celebrate that and participate in that, and we'll have a little fun with the elves and the
Yes.
reindeer as well.
Yes. Thank you for that, Santa. I appreciate that. Any last words from you?
Just Merry Christmas to everybody.
Just Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you, Santa. Thank you, Dr. Jingle
Jen?
Jen.
It's my pleasure.
And we got an
yes.
honorary.
You
You
All their
guys are
honorary elves.
honorary elves for the day.
Aw. Listen, we appreciate everything that you do, where you're at to help every child thrive and be safe and help families, particularly during this tough year. If there's anything we can do at Patrick Henry Family Services to help, let us know. We'd be glad to partner with you or help you in any way. And to all the staff and our donors and volunteers, Merry Christmas.
Nobody gets to choose their family. If a person is fortunate enough to be born into a healthy family, then life can be much like floating down a smooth, gentle river in the summertime. But an unhealthy family is like a dangerous river, filled with rocks, debris, and fast-moving water. This river swiftly leads to the steep waterfall of adulthood, tragically forming a new river of dysfunction. Even if you aren't born into an unhealthy river, there are many streams that cause a person to get there. But there is only one way to get out, and that is through a meaningful relationship. Across our region, there are many agencies, churches, and families who are devoted to helping children escape from unhealthy rivers. Some feel their role is to wade in and rescue children. They foster, adopt, or provide safe families. Others stand by the river and support the rescuers by providing what they need. Still, others are upstream and stand in the gap to keep children from ending up in the negative situations. At Patrick Henry Family Services, we see ourselves as having an additional role. We are running up and down the shores of the unhealthy river, screaming, "Can't you see the children in the water? You have to do something." Vision 30 is a 10-year initiative. By 2030, we envision a region where all children are safe in their own family, or with caregivers who are supported by a local faith community. So, where do you stand at the river? Are you upstream, keeping families together and strong by standing in the gap? Are you in the river, directly impacting children? Are you on the shore, providing support for the brave folks who have entered the river? Or are you just passing by without noticing? No matter who you are, come down to the river with us. Let us help you find your place. Not only will lives be changed, but you will never be the same.